if you want to work in the NICU and you don't want to work NICU bedside. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joy. I'm a neonatal nurse practitioner. I make content about living here in Houston, becoming a nurse, and how to achieve your goals. If that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and push that subscribe button and let's get into content. Okay, today's video is going to be about the different roles that you can take if you want to work in the NICU and you don't want to work NICU bedside. So if you don't want to be a NICU nurse working at the bedside, these are the roles that I've seen in the NICU, and everybody seems so happy and they seem like they love their job. So I was thinking I could just share these roles with you guys just in case that's something you don't want to do. So say, oh, I want to work with babies, but I'm afraid of blood. I don't want to change diapers or whatever. These are some things you can look into, maybe some roles that would interest you in the NICU. Okay, you guys know I'm a neonatal nurse practitioner and I work in a level 3 NICU. There's different type of NICU, so I'm just going to go through the different levels real quick just so that you guys can kind of get an idea of what each NICU is about. So the first NICU is a level 1 NICU. It's known as like a well nursery, well baby type of NICU. So they just do like basic routine newborn care. Nothing too complex, no babies that need respiratory support or anything like that. Just moms breastfeeding and the babies, you know, working on going home. A level 2 nursery, that's going to provide a little bit more advanced care. They can have a little bit of respiratory support like a nasal cannula. Nothing too much. If they get really sick, then they get shipped out to a level 3 or a level 4 type nursery, but that's going to be a step up from your basic level of care, but still pretty basic as far as like the type of care you provide. Then when you get to a level 3 nursery is where I am. That type of NICU, we take care of sick babies, any type of ventilation support. They could have a breathing tube or they could be on bubble CPAP, nasal cannula, room air, just working on feeds. It just depends on the baby. We can take babies all the way down to 22 weeks. So that just depends on the type of level 3 and the support they have. At the level 3, if the baby gets complex, needs surgery, endocrine, any type of consult, then we will take them to a level 4 unit or a bigger level 3 unit who has those resources like cardiology and things like that. The level 4 NICU provides the highest level of care, and so any baby that needs a high level of care will go to a level 4 NICU. That NICU can take any type of baby, any type of surgery patient, ECMO, any baby that needs any type of complex care such as cardiology, surgery, or anything like that. Okay, so you want to work in the NICU but you don't want to work bedside. Let me tell you, so these are the occupations I've seen at the NICU. Everybody looks very happy. We have a NICU pharmacist. So if you want to go to pharmacy school and you don't want to take care of adults, you can take care of babies and you can work in the NICU. The pharmacists are very valuable for me because they help us like with dosing and you know what antibiotics to give for what type of bugs and things like that. The pharmacists that we have now, they stay in the NICU. At my old place, it was the same way. Like in St. Louis, the pharmacist stayed in the NICU. It was a NICU pharmacist. So if you want to be a pharmacist, you don't want to take care of adults, you can work in the NICU. We have case managers. They make sure that the baby has everything that they need. Case manager, discharge coordinator, same type of concept. They make sure the baby has everything that they need going home, supply wise, and then any appointments that they need set up, they'll set them up. They work with companies to get car seats for parents who can't afford car seats or anything you can possibly think of that the baby will need when going home. They look pretty happy and they manage all the babies in the NICU, and that's their job. The next thing we have is a unit educator. So if you like teaching, you can get your RN degree. You can work in the NICU, but you can be the educator for the nurses. So you would obviously educate any of the new grads coming through, but then you would do the continuing education for the nurses who already work on the unit. So that's pretty nice. And you know, if you have a good personality and you're approachable, that's a good role for you to have. Most NICUs will have a unit secretary. They answer the phones. They like put the paperwork together for any babies that are admitted. They let the parents know like the policies of visiting the NICU. They hold everything together. So if you're more like behind the scenes paperwork type of person, unit secretary could be for you. And then you don't have to be a bedside nurse to be a unit secretary. We also have patient care techs. At the unit I'm at now, we don't have a patient care tech there, but at the level 4 that I worked at in St. Louis, they have patient care care techs. They had several of them. Those techs can range from all different type of skills, from setting up procedures for the nurse practitioners, helping the nurses do their cares, feeding babies, putting, you know, feeds over the pump, all kind of things like that, willing the mom from mother baby to come and visit her baby. So they're also very valuable. When I traveled to North Carolina, they had patient care techs as well, and they would supply like the diapers that the babies would need. They would make sure that like everything was fully stocked for the nurses so they can continue their workflow without interruption. So they are very valuable in the NICU, and you don't need a degree at all to be a patient care tech. Like, you don't even have to be a CNA to be a patient care tech. So that's something you can look into if you are interested in becoming a NICU nurse. I would say definitely get that job. Definitely try patient care tech, because then you'll have access to literally everything that goes on in the NICU, and you'll know if you want to stay there or not. The other people that I see that always look very happy, very friendly, are the therapists. So we have a speech therapist, occupational therapist, and a physical therapist. Those people always look pretty happy, and they do different things with the babies depending on where they work. But both the speech and occupational would feed the babies to see if they are ready to, you know, eat. They evaluate them to see if they're ready to sit up in their car seats. Physical therapists, they do the little range of motion with the babies every day. They teach parents how to feed their babies. They do all kind of things. So if you're going to school to be an occupational therapist, a physical therapist, or a speech therapist, and you don't want to work with adults, you can work in the NICU with babies. Some NICUs do have child life, which at my old hospital, child life would only come and see the baby like if they were older, you know, about to turn 1. So you like wouldn't necessarily get child life if you're only 3 months old, but if you're about to turn 1, then you would get child life. But other hospitals may allow child life to come into the NICU for all different type of babies. So child life is basically early development, but they do it with play. So you can come down and, you know, play with the babies, but you're doing early development. So more like therapy role, but you're called child life. So that's another interesting field that you could do if you want to work in the NICU. Also in the NICU, we have milk makers who take all the breast milk from the moms, and then they create the feeds for the day for the nurses. You don't need a degree to do that. So if you want to work in the NICU, you can also work in the milk room making the milk. So that's pretty cool. And those people are always nice and friendly too, you know, because they work in a little room by themselves. Sometimes I hear them playing music, things like that, but it does take a little bit of math because you have to decide on like how much volume when you're mixing the milk. But other than that, they seem pretty happy working in the NICU. Coming down to the last two people who I would say, you know, I really look at, and when people ask me questions, I'm like, have you ever thought about being a respiratory therapist? We have respiratory therapists that work in the NICU. Their sole responsibility is taking care of the babies. They round with us. They're a valuable part of the medical team. And if you don't want to work with adults, again, you could work with babies in the NICU if you are a respiratory therapist. You can do the respiratory therapy program. I'm not sure what the details are about that program because I haven't looked into it, but it's one of my top things that I recommend people, because nursing is not for everybody. And I know a lot of people look at nursing like as a way out, like you can make good money and you can go to school for 2 years and make good money, but it's the same for respiratory therapy. Like you can get your bachelor's in respiratory therapy or you can get associate. So it works both ways, and they're very valuable to the team, and they play a major part in the NICU without having to be necessarily at the bedside as a bedside nurse. And the last but not least thing that I'm going to tell you about is neonatal nurse practitioner, because I'm not working at the bedside anymore. Sometimes I go and like hold the babies if I want to, but that's not my day-to-day work anymore. It's more managing the patients, and we are in an office and we're managing the patients. We're part of the medical team with the physicians, the respiratory therapists, and so on. And so that is another thing you can think about. And like I told you, if you have questions, you can watch my other videos on becoming a nurse practitioner in the NICU. But I have my master's degree. You can get your master's degree and work in the NICU if you want to be a neonatal nurse practitioner. We also are very well compensated. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe and share this with anybody who is thinking they want to work in the NICU, just to kind of put a little bug in your ear of options that you have. If you want me to make more videos like this, let me know, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Baby girl, you are so pretty, pretty, pretty.